Single replacement reactions are also called oxidation-reduction reactions, and we shorten that to call redox. Redox reactions usually involve metals and nonmetals, or two nonmetals where oxygen is either a reactant or product. The driving force in these reactions is the transfer of electrons. In the reaction, reduction is the element that gains electrons. It's also known as the oxidizing agent. Oxidation is the element that loses electrons, called the reducing agent. Remember the acronym oil rig. Oxidation is losing, reduction is gaining electrons. Here's an example. We take some aluminum, solid aluminum, and we mix it with iron 2 oxide. Iron 3 oxide. Now, the first question is, will the reaction occur? Well, in order to figure that out, we need to remember that metals are going to replace metals. So, is aluminum higher or lower on the list than iron? If iron is higher on the list, it will react. If aluminum is lower on the list than iron, then it won't react. So taking a look here, we have aluminum is higher on the list than iron, therefore it will react. So, taking a look here, we just recombine the elements. Remember, in order to get this, we take aluminum, which is 3 plus, and we take oxygen, which is 2 minus, and we need 2 of these, and we need 3 of these to make this, and iron is just left off by itself, and remember to balance the equation. So, in the redox reaction, because metals are combining with nonmetals, we need to assign oxidation numbers in order to figure out which one of these is going to accept the electrons and which ones are going to lose the electrons. Any lone element has a charge of 0. So I just go ahead and put zeros above here. Then I take the charge of each element in the compound, and that's my oxidation number. So this is iron, has a 3 plus, and oxygen, which is minus 2. Aluminum is plus 3, and oxygen is minus 2. Make this look a little better. Okay, now, the element that goes up in charge is the one being oxidized, okay? Or it's also considered to be the reducing agent. The element that goes down in charge is the one being reduced, okay? Reduced means to go down, so that's how I remember it. Down, reduced, and it's also the oxidizing agent. So what I do is I take a look at the charges here, and I see what happened. Well, taking a look here, aluminum went from 0 to plus 3. So since it went up in charge, it's the one being oxidized. Therefore, it's losing electrons, which is the reason why it's a plus 3 charge, and it's the reducing agent. Iron went from plus 3 to minus 0. And since it went down in charge, that's the one being reduced, and therefore that's the one being the oxidizing agent. Oxygen went from minus 2 to minus 2. So therefore no transfer of electrons happened without oxygen, so therefore it's just a spectator. Now what I want to do is I want to take a look